my father used to paint his pictures of Tam Shanter, he would recite the poem out loud to himself in his studio, and it was by listening to him that I first came to love and enjoy Robert Burns's words. When Chapman billies leave the street and drouthy neighbours meet, as market days are wearing late and folk begin to tack the gate, while we sit boozing at the nappy and getting food and unca happy. And is that music I hear? Because you're going to continue this journey today with a little bit of a live performance, a special performance no less, by Eddie Reader.
Jamie, come try me, if thou would be my love, Jamie. If thou would kiss me, love, what would espy thee? If thou would be my love, ah, Jamie. Jamie, come try me. If thou would kiss me, love, what would espy thee? If thou would be my love, Jamie, come try me. Jamie, come try me. Jamie, come try me. If thou would be my love, oh, if thou would be my love, try me. Try me, if thou would be my love, who could deny thee? Why would deny thee? Ah, Jamie, why would espy thee? Come kiss me, Barney boy, come kiss me, ah, Jamie. Oh, Jamie. See you, Jamie. You're the king of men. Ach, Jamie, what would espy me? Come on, Jamie.
And so the story begins. This is old Ayr, when ne'er a town surpasses for honest men and bonny lasses. And Dad, who was obsessed with the cinema, he's framed this like the opening shot of a movie. It's CinemaScope wide, and you've got a whole panoramic view of Old Ayr, and in the bottom left-hand corner, here comes unsuspecting Tam, riding into town like he's riding into a western. And I love the little grouping of old grannies and ladies at the bottom of the bridge. They've just returned from the market, baskets full of leeks and potatoes. They've looked up and they can see Tam riding in, and he's got a reputation, and they're saying, "Ugh, there goes Tam again. He'll be getting into no trouble today, I'm sure." It's a great opening moment. The story is about to start. And so we're at the King's Arms, and I absolutely love this painting because we've got Tam who's arriving, and he's just seen his old buddy, Suitor Johnny, and the arms are open, and it's, "Hello, Johnny, how are you today?" And they're ready to go into the pub on this Saturday morning already. And once more, it's theatre. We've got somebody looking through the window going, "Ugh, what are these boys going to get up to today?" You've got a dog taking a leak on the post outside the door. You can feel the filth of the gutter, and you can feel the warmth of the pub.
My love is like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. My heart is like a melody that's sweetly played in tune. As fair art thou, my bonny lad, so deep in love am I, and I will love thee still, my dear, till all the seas gang dry. Till all the seas gang dry, my dear, and the rocks melt away the sun, and I will love thee still, my dear, though the sands of life shall run. But fare thee well, my only love, fare thee well. For 10,000 miles. Like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. My heart is like a melody that sweetly plays its tune. As fair art thou, my bonny lad, so deep in love am I, still, my dear, till all the seas gang dry, and I will love thee still, my dear, till all the seas, till all the seas gang dry.
What I love about the poem and what I love about Dad's paintings is in the initial stages, there's this whole sense of being warm and safe and cosy. You're by the fire. You couldn't think of a more pleasurable seat to be occupying than Suitor Johnny's on a cold November, October evening, whatever it is. But outside, you can tell the wind is picking up because the curtain's being blown from side to side, and there's even a little black cat in the corner. It's still a very exciting, positive and happy moment for Tam because, as we see in this work, kings may be blessed, but Tam was glorious. Look at him, that characterful face. He is the very epitome of happiness, joy and good cheer, and it's all about to come crashing down. Tam might be having a good time, but his wife, Kate, is definitely not, and not for the first time she's been left at home alone. And this point in the poem refers to when you're having a great time in the pub, you don't really think of that long, wintry Scots mile that separates you from your home. But we're being asked to make that mental leap to Kate sitting by her fire thinking, where has he gone again? And although Dad has made Tam look like he's about 40, he hasn't done Kate any favours. She looks like about 110. She's probably lost a few years because she put so much energy into wringing the neck of the chicken, who you think might just be a little effigy of Tam in her imagination. She's sitting at home, she's waiting for him to come back, and the clock is ticking.
A fond kiss, and then we sever. A farewell, and then forever. Deep in heart-wrung tears, I'll pledge thee. Warm sighs and groans I'll wait thee. Who shall say that fortune grieves him while the star of hope she leaves him? Cheerful twinkle lights me, for dark despair around benights me, and I'll ne'er blame my partial fancy, for nothing could resist my Nancy, for to see her was to love her. I love but her, and love forever. Had we never loved so kindly, had we never loved so blindly, nor never met, nor never parted, hearted. Fare thee weel, thou first and fairest. Fare thee weel, my best and dearest. Thine be ilka joy and treasure. High peace and joy, mad love and pleasure. A fond kiss, and then we sever. A farewell, and then forever. Deep in heart, wrung tears, I'll pledge thee. Higher warren sighs and groans I'll wage thee. I'll wage thee, I'll wage thee, I'll wage. One sweet kiss and then we part. One sweet kiss, then forever, forever, forever. Thine be ilka joy, every joy, every joy, every joy. And here is Robert's Rose and Butter. Give me love bros and butter, give me love bros, brosy stream. Wanted his supper and Jenny sits up at the loft. Johnny was glad to be out of the came a window to the west. Made other windows a clatter. Give me love bros, bros, give me love bros, butter, give me love bros, bros. The lark she loves the grass, and she loves the stubble, and he for a gardener lad to gully away with his dibble. Give me love bros, bros, give me love bros and butter, give me love bros, bros. That was a dainty dish, goose is hollow within, the sight would make you blush. Ah, the fun isn't finished. Bros and butter, give me love bros, bros. Jenny sits up at the loft. Johnny was glad to be out of the came a window to the west. Made other windows a clatter. Gimme love bros, bros. Gimme love bros and butter and gimme love bros, bros. That was a dainty dish, goose is hollow within the side would make you blush. All the fun is in finishing. Gimme love bros, bros. Gimme love bros and butter and gimme love bros, bros. Just dreamy wanted his supper. Daddy sent me to the hill, pound my mini some heather and drive it into your fill. You're welcome to the leather. Gimme love bros, bros. Gimme love bros and butter and gimme love bros, bros. Gimme love bros, bros. Gimme love bros, bros. That was a dainty dish, goose is hollow within the sight would make you blush. All the fun is in finishing.
So it's getting late in the night, and even Tam has decided, well, it's time to call it a day. We've got the landlord waving goodbye, Tam, at the door. Suitor Johnny's wobbling his way down the street. The wind is getting up, and the sign of the pub, the King's Arms, is swaying in the breeze. Tam is probably whistling away to himself as he approaches his grey mare Meg, and he's so sloshed already that he's putting the wrong foot in the stirrup because he can't get onto his horse properly. Meanwhile, up in the sky, the clouds are taking an awfully ominous form. Old Nick's already here, and he's got a lightning bolt ready to aim down on poor Tam. We're back in the cinema again, and Dad has created this kind of panning shot. We're following Tam as he leaves the pub, as he leaves Ayr, and he rides across the bridge into the woods and the forests and whatever awaits him. There's only a little bit of colour, which is Tam and his good blue bonnet illuminated by the lightning. Everything else has been bleached white and contrasts against the dark night sky. And there's just one man and his horse, confronted by the elements, confronted almost by the immensity of life. What destiny awaits Tam? This is a real thrill, but it's also about Tam's vulnerability. So Tam is on his way from Ayr to Alloway, the Kirk. And today, a lot of the Tam Shanter trail is very well tended. You can drive from Ayr to Alloway along a neatly kept road. But of course, in Tam's day, you'd have had to ride through the forest in the dark, past the groaning trees. And it doesn't take long even today if you stray off the path in Ayrshire to find yourself in a slightly intimidating world of creaks and groans and undergrowth and bushes and trees and goodness knows what else is going on in the distance. And that's what Tam finds himself encountering on this dark, wintry, rain-lashed night. He passes all these staging posts on his journey where terrible things have happened, where Charlie broke his neck, where the hunter found the murdered bairns, where Mungo's mother hanged herself. And you've got to go on that journey through my dad's paintings, deep, deep into the dark wood, in the wind, in the storm, when suddenly, in the distance, there's a glimmering light from the kirk.
Summer's a pleasant time, flowers of every colour, the water runs o'er the hue, and I long for my true lover. I walking still and weary, sleep I can get nae, for thinking on my dearie, I walking When I sleep I dream, when I wake I'm weary, but sleep I can get nae, for thinking on my dearie, I walking still and weary, sleep I can get nae, for thinking on I walk in Lately night comes on, all the love are sleeping. I think on my bonny lad, and blear my een wee weeping. I walk in walking still and weary, sleep I can get nane, for thinking on my dearie. I walk in walking still and weary, sleep I can get nane, for thinking on my dearie. I walk in
And this is the moment in the story when, through all those waving trees, through the squall and the noise of the storm, Tam begins to notice a flickering light in the distance. And he realises as he's galloping through the rain that it's coming from the ruins of the famously haunted old kirk. And I don't know about you, but I have a tendency to stay clear of places that terrify the life out of me. But our friend Tam is so blutered on whiskey that he's decided to urge his grey mare Meg forwards into the pool of light cast by the flames that are illuminating the interior of the ruined kirk, from which the noise is emanating of music and shrieking and dancing. By God, what's going on inside here? And all you want to say to Tam is, honestly, get the hell out of here.
Ye Jacobites by name, lend an ear, lend an ear. Ye Jacobites by name, lend an ear. Ye Jacobites by name, your faults I will proclaim, and your doctrines I mun blame. And ye shall hear, your doctrines I must blame. And ye shall hear what's right and what is wrong by the law, by the law. What's right and what is wrong by the law. What's right and what is wrong, a weak arm and a strong, a short sword or a long, for to draw, for to draw. A short sword and a long for to draw. What makes heroic strife, famed afar, famed afar? What makes heroic strife, famed afar? What makes heroic strife, to whet the assassin's knife, or haunt a parent's life with bloody war, bloody war, or haunt a parent's life with bloody war. So leave your schemes alone In the state, I leave your schemes undone. In the state, I leave your schemes alone, adore the rising sun, and leave a man undone to his fate, to his fate. I leave a man undone to his fate. Ye Jacobites by name, lend an ear, lend an ear. Ye Jacobites by name, lend an ear. Ye Jacobites by name, your faults I will proclaim, and your doctrines I mun blame. And ye shall hear, ye shall hear. Your doctrines I must blame, and ye shall hear. Da da dee da da dum, dee da da dee da 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 dee da 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 da. There's naught but care on every hand, in every eye that passes. Oh, what signifies the life of man? Sleep for the lasses, oh. Green grow the rashes, oh. Green grow the rashes, oh. The sweetest years that e'er I spent were spent among the lasses, oh. The worldly race may riches chase, the riches still may fly them all. When at last they catch them fast, their hearts can ne'er enjoy them all. Green grow the rashes, oh. Green grow the rashes, oh. Sweetest stars that e'er I spent were spent among the lasses. Give me a can of your routine, and my arms about my dearie, oh. The worldly cares and worldly men, may I get up till teary, oh. She sneered at us. You're not but senseless asses, oh. The wisest man the world e'er saw, he dearly loved the lassies, oh. All nature swears the lovely dears, her noblest work she classes, oh. Her prentice hand she tried on mine, then she made the lasses, oh. Green grow the rashes, oh. Green grow the rashes, oh. Sweetest years that e'er I spent were
And so Tam approaches the window and he looks in, and vow, Tam saw an unco sight. He has kind of painted a witch's mass with huge arrays of coffins and corpses gathered to celebrate old Nick's tunes that he's playing in the corner on his bagpipes. The undercurrent of this tale of witchcraft and evil and terror was something that was really rooted into Ayrshire and Scottish folklore. I mean, in the 18th century, the memory of people really being terrified of witches was real. People worried about the spells that could be cast, the things that could happen to you if you were unawares. And when Burns describes the scene that's set in front of Tam, we realise that the coffins that are open all around the inside of the kirk reveal on the interior people that Tam is supposed to have known, colleagues and friends that had been part of his life but are now dead. So yes, this is a bit of pantomime, but the real point of the poem, and I think what my dad was trying to point at, is you should be afraid. And in 1791, people reading Tam Shanter would have been horrified. They would have been appalled. Burns was confronting all the conventions in society that people looked up to. Priests, lawyers. He was kind of dismantling the idea that one should respect all signs of authority and revealing to us what mayhem life could involve, what terrors and fears were out there to come and grab you in the night. Amidst all the corpses that have suddenly been resuscitated from the dead, there is a very beautiful dancing witch. The terror escapes him, and seduced by the dance that she's performing, he shouts out at the very moment she pulls off her nightdress and reveals herself completely naked at the centre of this witch's mass, with old Nick in the corner piping away and the corpses around getting more and more excited. "Well done, Cutty Sark!" shouts out Tam, and in a moment all was dark.
High expression joy, the more we must renew it. I the tappet in gay bring up Ben to welcome Willie Stewart. You welcome Willie Stewart, I welcome Willie Stewart. There's ne'er a flower that blooms in me that half so welcomes thou. Strong and friends be slack, their action must they rue it. May a woman on him turn her back that rang thee Willie Stewart. You welcome Willie Stewart, I welcome Willie Stewart. There's ne'er a flower that blooms in me that half so welcomes thou art. Grass, it fades, it falls, and nature cannot renew it. But worth and truth, eternal youth, will give to Willie Stewart. May she whose arms shall enfold thy charms possess a loyal and true heart. To her be given to ken the heaven she holds in Willie Stewart. Aye, a lovely Willie Stewart. You're welcome, Willie Stewart. There's ne'er a flower that blooms in me that's half so welcome as thou art. You're welcome, Willie Stewart. their snare of flower blooms in me, the taps and willows star. Oh, the lights of this city are like diamonds. Aye, the street lamps, the signs and the cars. Though it's bright in this city, what are diamonds when they're turning out all of our stars? Would you gang to the Heelands, Lizzie Lindsay? Would you gang to the Heelands with me? Would you gang to the Heelands, Lizzie Lindsay? My pride and my darling to be. It's so loud in this town, Lizzie Lindsay. I the worry and the working and the noise. Now we can hear the birds when they're singing, and the rivers are losing their voice. Would you get to the Heelands, Lizzie Lindsay? Would you get to the Heelands with me? Would you get to the Heelands, Lizzie Lindsay? My pride and my darling to be. When you're beside me, Lizzie Lindsay, I'm not afraid or alone. We can live anywhere that we choose to, 'cause when I'm with you I know that I'm home. Would you get to the Heelands, Lizzie Lindsay? Would you get to the Heelands with me? Would you get to the Heelands, Lizzie Lindsay? My pride and my darling to be. Sing with us at home. Would you get to the Heelands, Lizzie Lindsay? Where'd you go to the healers with me? Where'd you go to the healers? Please you and see my praises, my darling to be. My praise and my darling to be. My praise and my darling to be.
Tam, though, gets the message pretty quick because he knows it's time to get literally the hell out of the kirkyard. Unfortunately, he's being followed by all these legions of the dead who pour out of the windows of the kirk, out over the walls, through the empty roof, chasing him across the graveyard. And imagine being pursued by the living dead. And you'll realise why he is encouraging Meg to ride at her very fastest so that they can reach the distant river, which offers him hope of survival if he can cross it. Tam Shanter is a cautionary tale, isn't it? It's meant to make you think about how you live your life and comport yourself, and the consequences that might affect you if you maybe indulge a wee bit too much, as poor Tam seems to have the habit of doing. So he portrays not only Tam in this great painting, running towards the jaws of hell, because the great morality moment is in hell. They're gonna roast you like a heron, Tam, for all the sins you've committed in your life. And my dad decided that whilst he was creating this great vision of the inferno, where Tam and his poor horse Meg are going to get burnt to a crisp, he would even include himself almost on the prongs of a trident with a roasting herring, part of all the hellish party getting barbecued. And there are lots of other details that Dad picked up from the graveyard at Alloway. Gothic motifs, skulls and crossbones, little dancing monsters and goblins, which he thought could properly inhabit this Burnsian Gothic vision of what awaited you if you didn't watch your step. So I remember accompanying my dad into the garden, and we scorched this entire frame so that this particular painting of hell could be accompanied by a frame that was equally scorched and scalded. So our old chum Tam is definitely in peril. This could be it. This could be game over, life done. If this hellish legion gets hold of him, he'll be dragged down underground into hell. But of course, as you all know from your sorcery studies, the one thing the hellish legions are a wee bit scared of is running water. So if Tam and Meg can make it over the River Doon, then he'll be saved. He'll live to drink another day. And this is the seminal moment. Will he win the key stain over the brig? Will he get to the central stone that holds the bridge together and that marks the halfway point, after which he will be saved? Everything is in the balance. And at this precise moment, Nanny flings herself towards the rump of Meg the horse, and she just manages to grab the horse's tail. And it's a willy-wonty moment. Is he going to just get over or not?
The young chevalier. Charlie is my darling, my darling, my darling. Charlie is my darling, the young chevalier. As he was walking down the street, the city for to view, oh, there he spied a bonny lass, the windy peaking. Charlie is my darling, oh, my darling. Charlie is my darling, the young chevalier. At the pen, and who's ready but herself to let the laddie in? Charlie is my darling, my darling, my darling. Charlie is my darling, the young chevalier. He sat his Jenny on his knee, all in his Highland dress, for Brawley really can't the way to please an Ayrshire lass. Charlie is my darling, oh, my darling. Charlie is my darling, the young chevalier. Oh, Charlie! It's up yon heathery mountain, I and Dunya and Scroggy Glen, we dare nae gang a milking for Charlie and all the men. Charlie is my darling, my darling. Charlie is my darling, the young chevalier. Charlie is my darling, my darling, my darling. Charlie is my darling, the young chevalier. Charlie is my darling, my darling, my darling. My darling, the young chevalier. Charlie is my darling, my darling, my darling. Charlie is my darling, the young chevalier.
This particular moment in the poem only takes up a couple of lines, but Dad documented it in tens and tens of paintings, the point of jeopardy. And I think that Burns himself would have quite enjoyed some of the liberties that Dad took, because not only has he got Nanny D at that seminal point of pulling on the tail, but of course she's completely naked. We're in hilarity at Tam falling off his horse, but we are in real fear for what's about to happen. Nanny has grabbed the horse's tail. She tugs, she pulls. And in a moment where my dad's depicted the explosion of blood coalescing with a lightning bolt, we realise Nanny has only got Meg's tail. She's been riding so fast there are literally sparks coming off her hooves. But Tam is saved. He's just managed to get over the key stain, and Nanny and the hellish legions are left roaring in frustration as Tam gallops off into the woods, where the rest of his life, of sobriety I should expect, awaits him. So of course the moral of the tale is, when cutty sarks run in your mind, think of Tam's grey mare, Meg, because quite frankly, she seems to be the only one who's paid a price for Tam's boozing. She's lost her tail, and she's left behind a big pile of steaming horse manure. In her eyes, you can see she's not pleased with what's just happened, but Tam, we think, might just have learnt his lesson too. And so, for the final shot of Tam Shanter, the movie, my dad has envisaged a scene that doesn't actually happen. He has us looking back at the hellish legion stuck on the other side of the bridge railing with fury, just watching out for anyone who might commit a little bit too much of an indulgence, a sin, a crime. They might be looking out for you, so watch your step.
The winter it is past, and the summer's come at last, and the small birds are singing in the trees. Their little hearts are glad, oh, but mine is very sad. My true love is far away from me. All you are in love and cannot it remove. I pity all the pain that you endure. Your experience lets me know that your hearts are full of woe. It's so that no mortal can cure. All my love is like the sun in the firmament is run, is ever constant and true. But his is like the moonlight, wanders up and down, and is every month changing, rose upon the briar by the waters running clear. They may have charms for the linnet and the bee. Their little lives are blessed, aye, their little hearts at rest. But my true love is far away from me. Oh, the winter it is past, and the summer's come at last, and the small birds are singing in the tree. Their little hearts are glad, oh, but mine is very sad. For my true love is parted from me. Oh, the winter it is past.
Gae bring to me a pint o' wine, and fill it in a silver tassie, that I may drink afore I go, a service to my bonny lassie. The boat rocks at the pier o' Leith, full loud the wind blaws frae the ferry. The ship rides by the barrack law, and I maun leave my bonny Mary. The trumpets sound and the banners fly, the glittering spears are ranked and ready, the shouts o' war are heard afar, the battle closes deep and bloody. It's not the roar o' sea on shore would mak me longer wish to tarry, nor shouts of war that's heard afar. It's leaving thee, my boy.